Well, good afternoon, everybody. It's Jonathan Garber from Flying Chimp Media, and I'm back for another one of my daily webcasts. As you know, I'm reaching out to people in the community who are really showing leadership and asking them, how can people thrive during this crisis? I don't mean just survive. Most people will survive, but I'm talking about employees, entrepreneurs, local businesses. How can they thrive through the crisis and be prepared to really hit the ground running following it? So I have a terrific guest today. Today I'm joined by Michael Wills from Top Line Solutions. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Jonathan. Thanks for having me today.
Thank you for joining us, making time in your day. I should say make time in your day because you've been extremely busy since this all started, haven't you?
It's been a very crazy, chaotic time. There's so much upheaval, in the sales side, we're responsible for both the external, the customer relationships, and the internal, all the staffing, and then how we interface with everybody inside the organization. So it's been chaotic, yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of levels to this in terms of a business organization and positioning themselves to thrive, right? There's a lot of layers there. Let's you and I kind of peel that onion together. Would that be okay?
Absolutely.
A lot of businesses, it's not just mom and pops. They could be multi-store chains. They could be shipping stuff around the world. They're what I call pulling their foot off the gas pedal. They're even hitting the brake on all their activities, sales, marketing, staffing, everything. Your message is very different. It's kind of opposite. Tell us about that.
It's quite natural to use the fear of what's going on in the world and basically step back and look to regroup and figure out, how am I going to respond to where we are? And unfortunately, a lot of people, when they do that, they respond and do a complete 180, and they change the way in which they act to their own staff, but more importantly, to the marketplace. And now is absolutely not the time to do that. And unfortunately, I have clients that have gone both directions. Some of my clients have been very proactive and aggressive in the market, and others have been very fearful, and they've actually stopped all marketing, cut salaries, reduced commission levels, et cetera. And it's been a very negative situation with those clients.
I've been telling people that they need to up their communication, not cut down their communication, because if you don't let people know that you are open for business on every level, right? If you're not open for business, you've lost your presence of mind with them. You are not a partner for them. You're not available in a crisis. You folded your tent and left, and they think, boy, that's doom and gloom, right? So that perception, tell us about that, about communicating and perception.
You're so correct. I mean, first of all, the open for business is a critical one, especially when there is a lot of uncertainty whether you are open for business. You may be completely shut down. You may be on a skeleton staff. I just got a phone call this afternoon from my dermatologist who just canceled my appointment for Friday because they're now closed effective this morning. So that is absolutely the first thing you have to communicate. What is the status of your operations? And you really need to re-communicate that on a probably 2 to 3 times a week basis. But secondly, I think even more importantly, I was talking to my sales team today for one of my clients. Over a period of months and years, you've developed relationships with these people. We do business with them on a regular, multiple times per year, maybe once a month or more basis. And you've got relationships with those people. And if you suddenly go under the sand and you no longer are communicating with them, they question, who were you when things were great? You're no longer with me when things are bad. And furthermore, we need to create as much normalcy in the world as possible. And our customers have an environment in which you want to be part of. You want them to want you to be part of their world on a daily and weekly basis, to be part of your thoughts, as you mentioned earlier. So if you go hiding now when they're looking at you, then you may never get them back.
So we're not going to go looking for you, that's for sure.
And the third thing is that, you know, you need to be a thought leader. You need to help them, guide them through what they're experiencing. Again, I was in a sales meeting today, and I was talking specifically about this, about having to, you know, be more than just the person that's offering a product line. Really work harder on helping somebody run their business. Now's the time to go and communicate what you know about your other clients and how those clients are reacting to this situation, all the positives that they're doing, and share those best practices with other clients that may not have heard about or thought about at this point. And that really, that thought leadership is critical, because again, they'll be thinking about you more in command.
Let me throw a thought out at you. When you're communicating with your clients and also your peers, people, colleagues like you and I think there's a critical question, which is, how can I help you? How can I help you? And it may not be what your company does. You may be able to put together two completely disparate clients who can help each other. And if you're the connector, if you're the hub in that relationship, you just added a tremendous amount of value. Do you see it that way?
Absolutely. And, you know, again, this exactly happened earlier today. You know, I have a client that sells retail products to dermatologists and med spas and just companies like that. And you know, those companies are really in trouble right now. You've got not only the state orders, but you've got people fearful of going into those kinds of offices.
They don't have protective gear.
Protective gear, et cetera. And so what we not only having conversations about trying to help their business, but we are now giving them some ideas on financial institutions that are out there to help protect their business. You know, a lot of these are small companies that don't have great access to banks, so they don't have great access to capital. So, you know, here we are. If our goal is to really help somebody's business, then let's really help the business. Let's give them ideas on how they can stay afloat and really prosper. Again, because what we're trying to do is build these infrastructures so that we can prosper, because this is not something that's going to last for months and months and months. It's certainly incredibly painful. It's incredibly painful, and it's beyond more than we ever thought it would be. But we have to be building something for when the market really opens back up again. We're stronger than our competition. We're ready. We're more ready than our competition. And that really starts with sales. You know, not beyond just the we're open for business, but it's acting as a thought leader. It's being a trusted advisor. It's ensuring that we have motivated sales teams. That's a real area of concern that I have, is that, you know, with all the fear, you know, the salesperson is the only one in the organization that gets the voice of both their boss as well as the customer. Right. They've got to process both pieces of information. So they go out and they hear the fearful tone in their boss's voice, and then they hear that same tone in their customer's voice. And that's a lot to process through. And when a lot of them are based upon a 50-50 base salary and commission, they're wondering how they're going to pay their own bills. So it's incredibly important that we maintain a high level of confidence in our sales teams, that they're going to persevere through this, and that their bosses are confident in the future of their organizations. And so we have to give that confidence to our teams every day. And you really have to go out of your way to do that, and just not expect that your sales teams are going to be confident and focused. Very tough to do that when you worked in an office setting, and suddenly overnight you're told you can't come to that office anymore. You've got to work at home, and your home location may not be suited for an office. You may have animals, you may have a spouse, you may have kids, you may have who knows what's going on there. You may have a noisy apartment that you live in. So
I had a leaf blower before outside. I was like, oh, it's just like my office, except with a leaf blower. And you can't do much recording with a leaf blower, but you know what? Salespeople, we all know how to use these. and all your contacts are probably on it. But you said something. If I just want to make sure I understood what you said, Michael. Basically, if I understand correctly, your sales team is both the company's advocate to the market and the client's advocate to the company. So they're a bridge between the feet on the street, what is happening on the street, and what's happening within corporate structure. I mean, we're a small business market, but within a company structure, they're the bridge that's reconciling two different views. Is that what you were?
Totally, and I use that term bridge all the time. And let's be honest, they're the only bridge your company has.
Right.
I mean, the owner, maybe they talk to a few customers every day, but they're certainly not speaking to dozens of customers every day. And you put a team together of a half a dozen people, they're talking to over 100 of your customers a day, generally. So
right.
One of the things that I've been doing for my teams is creating a process for them to communicate that information. And I'm asking them to come up with a daily recap of all of those conversations. You know, CRM contains opportunity level insight. But what I really need to know is what's the business situation in each one of my customers. I need to know, are they working? Where are they working? Who's working? Are they manufacturing? Are they buying things? Are they selling things? And I need to bring all that insight on a summary level from each individual salesperson to my management. So my management has a much clearer perspective of what's really going on, because this virus situation isn't uniform. I mean, if you're doing business in New York, it's a train wreck. Right. But if you're doing business in Texas, it's not as bad. In a lot of other places, it's not as bad. So it's not uniform. And it's not uniform by industry as well. There's certainly industries that are dramatically impacted, even consequentially impacted, and others that are tangentially impacted. So we need to have a complete picture of what's going on a daily basis. And so I'm expecting each one of my salespeople to put together a summary document every day as to everything, all the conversations that they've taken place.
Wow. So the people best suited in an organization to see what the opportunity is to serve people right now is your sales team.
Yeah, and you need to be talking to them every day about what's resonating, what conversations are you having, what
are people asking for?
What kind of changes do we need to make? I mean, we're offering, one of my clients were offering, some pricing concessions, some sales, but we may not be doing that for everybody based on the situation. So our salespeople are telling us what works and what's not working, and what we need to do and what we shouldn't do. They're the ones we have to trust right now. We need to get their insights. We need to share what we're thinking. And we need to have a common voice.
That's a great point. One of the things that concerns me, and I think it's one of the biggest fears out there, is not whether I will, you will, whether we will survive the virus. It's economics. The economics, I lose sleep over that, to be honest. I mean, to be transparent with you, we're friends. It's the economics that worry me. And when I see people, there are certain businesses that are going to have to lay off, furlough. They can't be open. They're brick and mortar and they're shut down. They're non-essential business and they can't work remotely. There are a lot of those, particularly in South Florida. Big service industry, right? But then there are other people and they're just like, well, closing. And I go, whoa. Hold on a second. What's the impact, Michael, if you're an optimist and you think another week, another 2 weeks, let's say 4 weeks. Let's just say 4 weeks of this kind of shutdown for us as a nation to be able to contain the virus and tackle it. Okay? Let's be optimists for a second and say 4 weeks. What the hell are you going to do in 4 weeks if you've let go a workforce that has so much institutional knowledge that you have trained, that knows your systems, the people who know your clients, the people who know your books and your accounting procedures? And if you let these people go, what the hell are you going to do when this roller coaster starts going up again?
It's so sad because I was talking to a company last week and learned that they had already laid off 2 employees with 30 years experience at the company. And I mean, you've got to find a different answer than that.
How do you replace 30, how do you replace 60
your,
years of experience?
That can't be your first answer. And no, I think, again, who are you going to be when we come out of this? You know, from a knowledge perspective, from an experience perspective, are you ready to launch and be aggressive? And if you're still in retraction mode, you won't be. Look, I was running a business in 2008, and that was an incredibly challenging time.
Right.
But it was really clear that we had to be ready when the marketplace gave us more opportunities than it did when it was at its ugliest. So we constantly were looking at, as we're doing today, how do we continue to do training? I did a training on Friday. I did another one today. You know, I'm looking at hiring. Now, I may not pull the trigger on a hire, but I'm certainly intellectually preparing the organization to hire, because we want to be hiring. We want to be thinking about that. And we want to be continuing to talk to prospects, because you know, your best client is somebody else's best prospect, and vice versa.
Right.
You know, there are targets out there that I may not have been able to talk to before. I may not have been able to resonate, but if they're getting bad service, if one of their key suppliers shut down on them, or started to change their behavior, and therefore I don't like the way they're working, I don't like how they're acting, I don't feel confident in them or how they're communicating, I'm more than willing to listen to you today. And I may not have been. So there's openings out there. So it's the time to be doing two things. One is obviously strengthening your foundation. You know, you're going to have to make changes, but you've got to do everything you can to maintain a strong foundation while looking for opportunities and reinforcing your customer relationships.
Excellent. Really, really excellent advice. You know, I've been through a lot of hurricanes. I grew up in South Florida. I went through Andrew and then a million in between then. And so part of this feels like the beginning of a bad hurricane. You know, it kind of has that feel. But one of the things that always happens in a hurricane is, or any natural disaster in this country, it brings out the worst in some people, but the best in most people. And when this is over, people are going to ask, where were you when I was at my worst and I needed the most? Where were you? I think of the word supply chain. And because when I took a course to become, I was a certified business continuity planner for a while in the IT space. And we talked about supply chain interruptions. And I sort of feel like I want everyone to think of themselves as being somewhere in somebody's supply chain, right? I don't care if I buy tacos or pizza from you. You are in my supply chain for that food, right? And then above you, there's other people. And then in that supply chain on the micro is the person behind the counter who knows my name and asks if I want the usual. Like, that's a human connection that I have that you can't replace. So I think if everyone looks at themselves as being a supplier to somebody and being supplied by someone above them in the supply chain, and ask yourself, where were you when I was at the worst? And then you look down and go, I'm here for you. Tell the market I'm here for you in whatever capacity I could do, even if that means connecting you with someone else who can ship you what you need by FedEx, you know, whatever. That communication, I think, is vital, telling people I'm here. I'm still open for business in a new way. That's what I think.
I agree. I think that and I share this with my team, that, you know, we need to really, within the walls of wherever we're working, we need to make it a safe zone. We need to make it one where we're thinking positively, we're focused, we're looking for solutions. and share that with customers, with friends, with coworkers. There's so much negativity and chaos out there, and you can't change that. One individual isn't going to change what's happening today, but one individual can change the life of somebody else that they're working with within their emotional or physical, practical supply chain, like you said, and by sharing an idea, sharing a best practice that they heard from somebody else, saying something positive. You know, there's so many little or large ways that you can significantly impact somebody else's business and lives. And remember that obviously businesses are, you know, a collection of human beings.
Right.
And everybody's got the same level of fear that you do. Some are more vocal about it and more mirrored inside it, and others are really starting. I think this is a big week. And I told that to my teams today. I said, this is a big week because I think the people that are fighters are going to come out and start fighting this week. I think they've gone through the emotions, the trauma, the fear, and I think the fighters are coming out. You look at corporations that are now saying, okay, we can't build cars, so let's build ventilator masks.
Right.
We can't build out, you know, we're not building alcohol, you know, let's build hand sanitizer.
Right.
So
they saw the opportunity in the crisis, and good for them.
The fighting spirit. Yeah, the fighting spirit is coming out.
That reminds me, you and I were having a conversation earlier, and you asked me a very salient point on this, which is, you know, we're Flying Chimp Media is obviously in marketing, mostly online marketing, where a complement to sales, we're really an inseparable part of sales. And you said, what are you doing for your clients now? We were having a conversation, and I said, you know, we're doing a couple things. The first thing is we're empowering our clients to keep doing business through the crisis. That's step one, is business right now. So, you know, we deal with a lot of attorneys and other people who do services. Guess what? They can do consultations and all of that online. They're able to move that online. I need to send you a document and I don't have a scanner. Take a picture of it with your phone. Here you go. I got a picture. I send it to you. Why are we stopping? There's no reason to. So we're helping clients get their head around that continuity of business, of telling the market, I'm still here. And so we're putting pop-ups on websites that say, video consultations available now. Oh, I got a case going. I can still communicate with my attorney. They're still filing electronically, et cetera, et cetera. That's one thing, is we're asking everybody, hey, we will help you take your business online, including if you needed to, if you were selling things. You deal with a lot of people in manufacturing distribution. If you're selling time or services, we can stand up a little e-commerce site. I mean, like a one-page e-commerce section on your existing website and go, boom, fulfill it out of your house, fulfill it out of a third party, whatever. You know, Amazon is no longer taking shipments into their warehouse. So if you were relying on Amazon for fulfillment and stuff, that's over. You can stand this up on your own website. That's obviously what we do all day. And you keep that 30% and put it back in your pocket. We're helping people do that. And we are preparing people. Get this, Michael. We are doing more search engine optimization than we were doing the week before last. You get that? Because most of our clients, professional services, are saying there's going to be a smaller pie for a while when this is over, right? Not only that, some of their competition may not hack it, so they may shake out, right? You said the fighters versus the pikers, which means my clients want to fight for a bigger piece of a smaller pie. And in order to do that, we're pushing the gas pedal on marketing, SEO, so that they are visible right now as industry leaders in their space. And the moment everything opens up, you're gonna be like, who's sitting on top? Oh, that guy, that guy, that guy. Those are my clients. They're all sitting on the first page of Google and they haven't moved an inch. And they're telling you we were available the whole time through the crisis. We were here for you. So that's the answer to the question you asked earlier, which is what are we doing to help our clients? We are taking them online. We are setting up more e-commerce than ever, and we are helping them promote their business now in preparation for when this crisis is over, which, you know, how long can this last? I don't know, but it can't last forever.
That's why I enjoy working with Flying Chimp so much. The agility that you guys display on a daily and weekly basis, whether it's pivoting a company or just changing the processes to achieve different results. It's what we have to do. We must be agile today. It's not going to be, however you did it yesterday is not how you're doing it today and tomorrow. Forget it.
Totally irrelevant. You've got to respond to the needs of the market. And the guy who does that first, faster, and best, he sets the bar. Everyone else has to meet it. That's what a leader is.
Yeah, so I commend you guys because I know that you do it so well.
Thank you so much. Michael, our time is up, and I just want to thank you. I think you've shared so much great information. I always tell people, if you can go to any kind of seminar, webinar, something like this, and you can take away one aha moment, one actionable item, that's a win. I made some notes on our conversation earlier. I think people have their marching orders on staying and thriving in this virus, and you've given it to them. I appreciate you so much for sharing your time, your experience, and your wisdom. Thank you very much. I know you've got another webinar coming up later this week. Where can people find that and log in for that?
I'm part of a large group called the Sales Experts Channel, and on the Bright Talks platform, I'm doing a webinar on Wednesday at 11 a.m. And that webinar is focused on how to manage remote sales teams and have under a safe and secure and productive and motivating environment. And I'm doing it with an expert in the IT security space. And together, he's going to focus on all the dynamics and security issues around having people, the biggest hacking concern is an email. And, with so many people now operating in a remote environment, that is exponentially growing in risk. So we're going to be talking about that, but I'm going to parallel that with how do we keep people motivated? How do we, do we have to make changes to comp plans? Do we need to change their processes? How do we have them communicate and create a safe zone so they can be very effective and productive in their daily activities? So it's Wednesday at 11 a.m. and they can find it on the Bright Talks platform under Michael Wills.
Excellent. I'm going to ask you for something. I'm going to obviously post a recording of this up on social media, and wherever you see it, go ahead and post a link to your webinar Wednesday. I know that's going to be on archive. People can catch it at different times if they can't join you live. So go ahead and we'll add that link wherever I post this, all right?
Thanks, and if anybody would like to follow up with me directly on this conversation or anything similar, I'm Michael Wills. I founded toplinesolutions.org, and my email address is michael@toplinesolutions.org.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Michael, be safe, be well, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you, Jonathan. Good luck, everybody.
Thanks. Take care.